I just want to take a moment and say that I really appreciate you having me on the show here today, man, to talk about a bunch of the things that we get to talk about off camera in a very just relaxed and authentic way. I'm really enjoying this so far and just really appreciative. So thanks, man.
I appreciate you saying that, and also appreciating you coming on the show.
Absolutely.
I can't think of anyone better to be in this position right here, especially talking about this subject, which is approaching.
Ooh.
So, if you know, for the guys out there, could you tell them your relationship with approaching, more specifically, approaching women in public to speak to them, to court them?
Absolutely. So I think this is something that a lot of you guys out there can relate to. You see that girl in line when you're at Starbucks or grocery shopping, or maybe you're out at a club and you guys lock eyes for that brief second and you feel that tension and you get that impulse, but then whether it's your mind or your legs or your body, it just locks up. Often called approach anxiety. I don't quite like that label, but it's what it's known as. So, as I hope you guys can tell, I feel pretty comfortable talking with people, but sometimes that initial impulse, you get tripped up in your head with it, and that's something that I've really been focusing on improving and getting through, and it's really been a focal point of my recent journey of 2019.
That's a great journey to have. I mean, think about people who are even afraid to participate in class. That's what I, compare it to, especially for me. Like, I was very shy as a child, incredibly shy. I still consider myself an introvert. Obviously, I'm an Aquarius, that coincides. But as you can tell now, I'm also comfortable being myself in front of whoever. So
Absolutely.
I honestly really don't care at this point. Whoever it is, I'm still going to be myself. To be honest, the president can be in a room, but I'm still going to be me. And I'm still going to have that charismatic respect, but I'm also going to be a bit of a cheeky side at the same time.
Classic Josh, though.
Yeah.
So for me, I think one of the greatest things that I've come to learn is, and this kind of overflows to other parts of life as well, talking about being on your path and kind of understanding what you want from a potential partner or a woman, is quieting the mind a little bit and just being present. Mindfulness is another good way to put it. So for me, it's almost accepting that sometimes I might feel tripped up or that I might feel that pause, but instead of fighting it, just like in meditating, if you have a thought that enters your head, it's much easier to acknowledge it and let it pass. Whereas if you guys are familiar with psychology, you try to think about, if someone tells you to not think about pink elephants, all of a sudden all you're thinking about is pink elephants.
Exactly.
So in approaching, just like mindfulness meditation, if you have anything that is a hindrance or you feel locked up by, it's best to acknowledge it and just proceed. Don't dwell on it, because the longer you dwell on it, you're just giving it more and more power over you. So that, talk about step 0 is just getting past your own internal resistance to the whole process.
Absolutely.
I think for me then, the next part of approaching is recognizing the approach cues for when you would get a well-received open, a warm open. Where's my sales buddies at? Warm lead versus a cold lead, right?
Yeah. No one wants to, actually, girls kind of do like cold approaches.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But sometimes, they'll give you signals that they want to be approached and talk to you, which is your cue to pick up the phone and dial that number.
That's true. Now, based upon my just my own anecdotal experience, I believe usually the signs of
Interest.
let's say extended eye contact, lingering eye contact.
Absolutely. So what I've found is there's a little bit of a time frame for it. It's not a eye contact that you make if you're scanning a crowd. And you know how sometimes you just arbitrarily will lock eyes with somebody randomly, but you or her or he, whoever, whatever dynamic it is, you keep going. A glance isn't that same eye contact. There's a little bit more of a long pause there. I would say arbitrarily 3 seconds.
I'll put it in a more poetic way.
Ooh.
If time feels like it stopped momentarily, if you felt like your heartbeat, fluttered a little bit,
Yeah.
then you understand exactly what we're talking about.
That's honestly perfect. It's that sensation that you get from it.
Yeah.
I think that is the most obvious and commonly used door opener by women out there. The other one that I found once or twice that I actually really loved is that eye contact, which, by the way, you want to maintain until she breaks it. That's one of the other key little points here. And when she does break it, if she looks down, that's a sign of submission.
It is a sign to approach.
Absolutely.
Because it's saying like...
That's a hot lead.
Right. So, again, girls are incredibly adept at social cues and understanding social situations.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's staring, darts at you and then... but not in a good way.
Right.
Then to back off.
It's basically the eye equivalent of baring her fangs at you.
Exactly. However, if she, again, has a very welcoming look and that look lingers for an extended period of time where you seem to forget time exists, then you probably want to approach.
Absolutely. What are some other signs, Josh, that you would say girls give out as signals for welcoming guys?
Absolutely.
Hair twirling, is that?
I would say hair twirling probably doesn't really matter until you start talking with her.
Fair enough. And
then those are more, signs of that she's a little nervous around you, which is
a good thing.
Which is adorable. A lot of girls are shy.
How cute.
And for whatever reason, the girls who are the most attractive are also the most shy. It's just very weird.
Why do you think that is?
I think they're not used to interacting with people in a very authentic way. I feel like a lot of people only interact with them because of their appearance and not for who they are as people. Because at the end of the day, they are people. They're just people of exceptional beauty. And that has a lot of value in our world. It has had a lot of value through the entirety of humankind.
Sure.
I mean, think about all the muses of people like Da Vinci or, even like Kanye, if you will. There's different elements of beauty that men definitely hold very. There's a massive desire to be in the presence of someone of exceptional beauty, and that doesn't even have to be taught. That's just
hardwired into your brain.
Right. I mean, again, this is podcast for guys, and if you are attracted to girls, you don't understand exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.